Today's topic is defensive driving. Let's talk about defensive driving. Defensive driving really begins with the driver. Driving defensively means that you as a driver are staying alert to changes, you're looking ahead, and you're aiming high. You need to observe your entire situation and recognize all potential hazards. You need to decide on an appropriate response and make sure that you carry out your plan. It's important that as well as seeing clearly, you as a driver, your rig is able to be seen clearly by others. So as a driver, you should keep your windshield and mirrors clean and clear, use mirrors and constantly scan the traffic to the front and sides of your truck. Look 10 to 12 seconds ahead of the vehicle and look even further ahead when you're on the highway. Always use your mirrors before changing speed or positioning yourself in traffic, and signal all turns and lane changes. Be sure to keep your signal on until the move is complete and keep lights on for safety. So, city driving, heavy traffic, narrow streets, and obstructed views are just some of the challenges that you as a driver of a commercial vehicle may face while driving in the city. Driving on city streets requires a driver's undivided attention and complete concentration. Staying alert, maintaining a safe speed, careful turning, and staying on posted routes are just some of the skills that you need to keep in mind when traveling in a metropolitan area. When driving in the city, a driver needs to make every effort to stay alert. The following are just a few things that you can do to help stay on top of any situation. You should keep your eyes moving. Attention should never be focused on one object or event. An alert driver scans a block or two ahead, looking from one side to another and from street to another street. Be sure to check all your mirrors. You should be aware of what is to the rear as well as to the sides of your vehicle. And you should watch the tailgate or the tail lights in front of you. So this will help you anticipate when other drivers will stop or when they're going to turn. Additionally, keep in mind that bicycles and pedestrians may dart into traffic at any time, and as a driver, you may need to stop suddenly. Be on the lookout for driveways, alleyways, and entrances and exits to parking lots. Often a vehicle exiting these areas aren't visible until the last minute. In an alley, a driver should also keep an eye out for overhead wires, delivery vans, and dumpsters. The increase in the number of vehicles traveling in the city makes speed and space a very important issue for the professional driver. Here are a few speed and space tips for city driving. A driver should ensure that there's enough space between him or her and the vehicle ahead. When stopped in traffic, you should wait to proceed until the vehicle ahead has moved a few feet. The vehicle ahead may stop suddenly, and a driver may need some extra space to stop his or her rig. You should keep an eye on your speed. Reduced speed can help in safely stopping if a vehicle, bicycle, or pedestrian darts out into traffic. As a driver, you should plan your route accordingly. Allow for extra time when driving in the city due to traffic, especially during rush hour or when the weather is bad. Now we're going to discuss underpasses. So drivers need to approach all underpasses with care. Here are some tips to help you safely navigate underpasses. Avoid unmarked or low clearance underpasses and approach all underpasses carefully. A driver should never assume the marked height is adequate. Watch for signs of road repair. A few extra inches of blacktop can raise the road surface, changing the underpass's clearance. And watch for bridging. This happens when the road slopes down before the underpass and comes back up afterwards. Heights may be marked based on a center-to-center measurement, which could track some vehicles. When approaching an unmarked underpass, you should approach very slowly using your four-way flashers if you're trying to determine if you will fit under the underpass. And if there's not enough space, you should pull over and use another route. Now let's talk about intersections. Crossing an intersection with a long vehicle can be a difficult maneuver. The first thing to remember is that due to the vehicle's additional length and slower acceleration compared to an automobile, it takes longer to cross and clear intersections. Crossing an intersection at night presents additional hazards. Approaching drivers may not see the side of the long vehicle. Drivers of large vehicles need to recognize these problems and take extra care when crossing intersections, especially those that are uncontrolled. At busy intersections and unmarked crossings, a driver should always stop and assume that he or she does not have the right of way. At all intersections, you should slow down and watch for other vehicles, pedestrians, and people on bicycles, mopeds, or skateboards. When approaching a controlled intersection, a driver should stop 2 times. First, at the stop sign or light, and second, after easing forward to a point where the driver can clearly see oncoming traffic. When a traffic light turns yellow, you need to slow down and stop. When it comes to merging, the weight of a vehicle's load as well as the ramp's length and degree of turn will determine how much time a driver needs to get their vehicle up to speed to safely merge with oncoming traffic. The size of the vehicle will determine how much space the driver will need to enter the traffic. When entering traffic, the driver should size up the traffic, signal early, and watch for an opening. Be sure to build up your speed and merge smoothly, watch your mirrors, and watch for oncoming traffic. When leaving an expressway, you should signal and get into the turn lane as soon as possible. Check your mirrors to monitor the speed of the traffic that's behind you and your vehicle, and shift down to a lower gear and make the exit smoothly.